Hi Internet, I'm Tango, and these are Tango's Takes. The take for today, Wednesday, July 7th, 2021, is perception is key. Okay, perception is key. Sounds straightforward, doesn't it? I used to work at a theme park. Specifically, I used to work rides and attractions, and one of the things that came up during my fourth year, when I was the lead and supervisor assigned to a particular roller coaster, was that we had to change the way we were checking restraints. Because while we have always been pressured to load the train faster, get more people through in an hour kind of thing, our solution, while verified as safe and effective, did not look safe and effective to park guests, because they don't know what specifically we're checking for when we run by pushing and pulling on their restraints. We know how much force, given experience, we know how much force it should take to pop the restraint if it's going to pop. And we can do that really quickly. But what guests saw was us having races to check restraints, and they didn't feel safe. So we had to slow down. Or if we wanted to do the race, we had to go through it and then go back and do it again at a slower pace. The guest didn't feel safe, and therefore things were not safe, because a guest who does not feel safe is going to make unwise decisions if something unexpected happens, like, oh, you notice a water bottle and you have to stop the train on the lift and go up and get it. In the IT world I work in now, perception of work done is huge. It's not the only thing, but the perception that someone on a team is not doing work or not doing their fair share of work results in disgruntlement, dissatisfaction, lower morale, and eventually, if you don't address it, your better performing people leave. So it's a thing you have to take care of. Now, I recently passed the ITIL v4 Foundations exam, and believe it or not, this is covered in ITIL v4 Foundations. The guiding principles start where you are, has recommendations about how to use observation and measurement. And that recommendation is observation is the primary means of assessing the current status, and it should be supported by the measurements. Now, I look at my team currently, and I've got two people who are perceived to do very little work. This has been brought up to them. They argue that, well, hey, the work that we do doesn't get measured because we're taking this kind of ticket, or we're working this kind of thing, or we're taking the phone calls, but we don't create tickets. I'm like, okay, create tickets, track your work. But I developed a better method of providing them regular updates to their stats. I was able to start reporting on who opened how many of each of the two kinds of tickets in a day, who resolved each of the three kinds of tickets in a day. I can tell you how many phone calls they took, how long the average call time was. I can even tell you if they clocked in late. The people complaining that, hey, I'm doing work, you just can't tell, they're not doing work by a measurable standard. And now that you've verified the perception of the problem, you have to address the problem. I get to have an unpleasant conversation next week, 2 of them, addressing people's perception of their performance versus the rest of the team's perception of their performance. So remember, what you do and how you do, how it's perceived by other people, does matter. It's not the only thing that matters, but it does matter. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll catch you all next time.